What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we will need to take a look at a winning black Digimon deck. The lovely Ryan Kai over on the Facebook group has gone and posted a couple of winning decks from local tournaments they've been holding, and one of these was a black deck that has caught my eye, firstly because it looks like a really good deck, secondly because it uses that Millenniummon and everybody loves Milleniummon, and thirdly because I've not shown you a winning black deck yet. And, I mean, what kind of Digimon YouTube man would I be if I wasn't showing you winning decks for every colour? I'd feel embarrassed, assuming there are winning decks, of course. So, let's take a look at this black deck, shall we? Now, starting off with the Digitama, the champion was Benjamin Arteva. When the deck list comes up later, his name will be on it. And we've got the usual 4-1 Digitama split. The 4 here does go to Diaboromon. On your turn, if this Digimon has Reboot, you get an extra 1,000 power. Don't worry, there's plenty of Digimon around with Reboot. That's the one that makes you active during your opponent's active phase, which is kind of awesome. And then because you're allowed 5 Digitama, there's 1 copy here of Sumamon. Bearing in mind there are only 2 Digitama for black at the moment. And on your turn, if you have a Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you get an extra 2,000 power. Bigger boost in terms of power, but less likely that it's actually going to fire. So moving into level 3s, one of the things I really enjoy about this deck, although I'm fully aware that a bunch of people won't, is the fact that it actually has most of the, not all, but most of those black promos from the promo pack are making their way into this deck. So we've got 3 copies of the Keramon that came around in the promo pack, 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 2,000 power, but an inheritable skill that gives this Digimon an extra 1,000 power. So it's not a particularly great card in and of itself, but the Digimon that evolves from it is going to have a wonderful old time. We do see we're also playing a playset of Toy Agamon here, and this has an inheritable skill, Reboot. We don't love the 1,000 power, it's a bad card in and of itself. 3 cost 1,000 power, no. But it's got an inheritable skill, Reboot, which means any Digimon evolving from it will have Reboot, and we've just talked about how awesome Reboot is. You get to become active on your turn and on your opponent's turn. That's kind of awesome, quite frankly. Now, we also see a complete playset of Gotsumon. Now, this is a level 3 blocker. Now, it looks a lot like the blockers that came around in the starter sets for the other colours. It gives up 2 memory when attacking, so it's not one you ever really want to attack with, but it's a 3 cost level 3 blocker. And sure, it's only got 3,000 power. When it blocks, it's almost certainly going down as it blocks. But the point here is that it is actually a level 3 blocker that is a 3 cost. That is a very fast, cheap blocker, and it's kind of awesome, quite frankly. It is exactly the kind of blocker you're going to be wanting to take advantage of. So that's kind of cool. The last level 3 we need to talk about here is that lovely geary one, Diaboromon, if you will, and this is a 2 cost to play normally. It's a vanilla card, the 3,000 power isn't particularly good. You are playing this purely because it is a 2 cost to play down normally, and that means that you can get yourself rolling, get up to the higher levels that little bit faster. Those are your level 3s. Moving over into the level 4s, we've got ourselves a playset of Milleniummon. And there's no skill here, this is what we call a vanilla card, but it's 1 cost to evolve. The 3,000 power isn't particularly good. To be fair, the 3 cost to play normally is quite cheap. We would expect a little bit more from a level 4 Digimon. And the 1 cost to evolve is cheap, we'd expect a bit more. When your other level 4s are 4-2 and this is a 3-1, you're playing this because it's cheap. You're playing this because it's cheap to play, or it's cheap to evolve, that's why you're playing it. Bearing in mind that if you're evolving it from Diaboromon here, that's essentially giving you 3 cost to play normally, or 3 cost to play the level 3 and evolve up. Either way is a cheap Digimon to get into play. If we're looking for slightly more impactful Digimon, we've got Greymon here. If this Digimon has Reboot, you get jamming. That is to say, that you will not be destroyed by security Digimon. So even though you've only got 4,000 power, as long as you're not getting blocked, you're just not getting destroyed. Because when you attack into a security, you know you're not going down, and when you attack a resting Digimon, it's your choice who you're going after. And of course, we've seen that we're going to be giving each other reboot. So that's kind of cool. And then we have the promo Chrysalismon that came from the pack, i.e. the promo pack. And again, the stats here are fine and average, but it's a blocker, and when you attack, you lose 2 memory. So this is far more similar to things like Grizzlymon that came around in the starter decks. Although having said that, it is still cheaper, because Grizzlymon, etc. from the starter decks, these were your level 4 Digimon like this, but they were 5 cost to play normally, 6,000 power, rather than 4 cost to play normally, 5,000 power. So we've got a couple of blockers here. We've got this one, and we've got Gotsumon, and they're cheaper than they are in other decks, so we're loving the blockers. Bearing in mind, we've got reboots, which we're going to be giving ourselves with Diaboromon, so when you block on your opponent's turn, assuming you survive, you will then be made active on your turn and then on their turn, etc, etc. So you can essentially attack on your turn, block on their turn, and keep being made active over and over again. Do you see where the combo's coming in? Blockers with reboot. Awesome. Speaking of blockers with reboot, moving on into level 5, we've got ourselves Andromon. 7 cost to play normally, 3 cost to evolve, 7,000 power, it's got blocker. It's not particularly expensive, it's got blocker, and it's only got blocker. On your opponent's turn, if they're attacking, you can arrest it to make it the target of the attack, but you've got blocker. And hopefully you're giving it reboot. And oh look how that happened. And then of course remember that if it's got reboot, it's probably also got jammer, and this is working out very nicely indeed. We've also got ourselves Metal Greymon. Now, this is slightly more expensive as an 8 cost to play normally, but on your turn, if this Digimon has reboot, security attack +1. That is to say it's an inheritable skill, so now you're giving your Digimon reboot, and they're getting jammer, and they're getting an extra security attack, so they're taking out more than one security card, knowing that if the security card has a higher power than them, they won't be destroyed by it, and this is turning into a whole heap of a good combo. Also worth pointing out, of course, that this has reboot naturally, so even if you haven't evolved from Diaboromon, you've still got reboot, and you've still got all those skills that activate when you've got reboot, which is kind of cool. We've then got a few copies of Infirmon. 6,000 power is low for your level 5. Power-wise, we're not loving it. It's the weakest one you play. Sad. But on your turn, the cost to evolve this Digimon into Diaboromon from your hand is reduced by 1. So, okay, fine, it's not particularly powerful and it's not really that cheap, but you can evolve into Diaboromon more easily and more cheaply and more quickly. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And speaking of which, the reason why this deck really caught my eye initially here, this is playing the promo Diaboromon. It is not playing the Diaboromon from Ultimate Power. Now, this one is a 3 cost to evolve, but remember, if you evolve it from Infirmon, it's only a 2 cost to evolve. That's a very good thing. And what we've got here is, on your turn, you get security attack +1 for each Diaboromon you have. So we've already seen that a couple of the lower level Digimon we're playing them purely because they're faster and cheaper. Because if you get into multiple Diaboromon, you are crushing with security attacks. Do remember, it is each Diaboromon you have, not each other Diaboromon you have. So it is good in that regard, because it means at minimum you're getting security attack +1, which is awesome. But remember that you're probably going to have reboot, so Metal Greymon is going to give it security attack +1 in addition to what it would have otherwise, and essentially what we've got here is lots of blockers with reboot, and lots of Digimon with extra security attack that can run through your opponent's stack very nicely. Do remember, of course, that this one you're really going to want to try and evolve from Sumamon if you can, because then you'll get an extra 2,000 power once you get another Diaboromon on the field, which you're clearly looking to do because of the whole extra security attack. Now there is another level 6 we play here, and it is Diaboromon. It's a vanilla. 10 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 12,000 power. It is the equivalent of the ones that most of the colours got, or half of them I suppose, back in the starter decks. It's vanilla, but it's powerful and cheap. 12,000 power has proven to be quite high. 10 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve on a level 6 is low. And quite frankly, this is a big hitter for a small cost. Now, the other thing that really intrigued me about this deck is it's just a really good winning Milleniummon deck. And Milleniummon, it's the level 7 from the set, so we're a little bit excited by it. 15 cost to play normally, 6 cost to evolve from either black or purple isn't great. 13,000 power isn't really great for a level 7. But when you evolve, you return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck, and you discard any evolution sources. But remember, we don't have ways to draw from the bottom of the deck or shuffle our deck at the moment, so putting a card on the bottom of their deck means that if they ever draw it, they're going to lose next turn by deck out, so the chances of ever actually making use of that card are very slim. But when it's destroyed, if this Digimon had any evolution sources, you may play it from the trash without paying its cost. So essentially, the first time it goes down, it comes back, which is awesome. Now, weirdly enough, there are no option cards in this deck. This deck is purely built on all of these Digimon with your reboot, your extra security attack, and your Milleniummon going a bit nuts. But there are a couple of Tamers. We play a couple copies of the Diaboromon from Ultimate Power, the black one. 4 cost to play normally, and at the start of your turn, if your memory is 2 or less, it becomes free. And on your opponent's turn, all of your black Digimon gain 1,000 power. So when your opponent's trying to take out your resting Digimon, or, your blockers, this gives a boost to all your blockers, and we've talked about the amount of blockers you play, reboot, etc. And of course, any security Digimon as well will benefit from this. But I rather suspect it is mostly there because you got a lot of blockers with reboot. Sure would be nice if they survived a little while. Well, this is going to help. And yes, it does stack. If you got 2 of them out, you get an extra 2,000 power. Here's a deck list as a whole, and this is one of my favourite lists that we've seen so far. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I love all of the reboot. I love all of the blockers. I love the extra security attack. And I don't know why, but there's something I really like about the fact that 3 of the 4 cards from the promo pack are turning up here. I kind of like it as a promo-style deck. Now, there are going to be plenty of people who do not like this, and I think it is an absolutely fair criticism, that if you haven't been able to go and get 4 copies of this, either from the magazine or from, tournaments I think they were given out, then I do think we are in a little bit of trouble. But for the time being, I just kind of love that we're showing some love to the promos. Makes me a little bit happy. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I've shown you a bunch of winning black Digimon, and I would like to know your opinion, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can, support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.